Have fun now.
Omo, I'm not really fine. Do you know they paid me last week and right now I can't even boast of up to 10,000 naira in my account?
Seriously?
Yes.
Did you budget?
Which one is budgeting? I'm not a politician.
That's when your money is missing like NEPA light.
But I didn't buy anything serious, shoes, bags, the thing that guys need now. And just like that, fiam, the money has disappeared.
But it's all these little things. That's why it's taking your money.
But what should I do?
See, you have to create a budget. You have to track your spending. You have to prioritize your needs over your wants. And you have to save before you spend, not the other way around.
So what you're trying to say that this money management thing is no child's play?
It's no child's play at all.
The Money Click is an annual financial literacy program to help you up your money game. The Money Click is not just about money, it's about mindset. So in the Money Click program, go beyond budgeting to rewire your thinking, to rewire your mindset, to change your thinking about income, to change your thinking about money management. So we'll help you grow your income, we'll help you manage it, we'll help you invest with confidence. Money is not just about what you know. Money is more about how you behave. And every day in the Money Click program, what we'll try to do is to influence how you behave about money. This is not just financial education. This is financial transformation. I will hope to see you become a part of it. Thank you.
All right, we're live. Hello, everyone, and good afternoon. Welcome to another edition of our YouTube Live. Today being Thursday, the 20th day of November 2025. I'm glad to have you here. Happy to have you here. Just a few hours ago, I was on the Intentional Parent Academy sharing my intentional parenting journey so far. Are you a parent? Are you not in the Intentional Parent Academy's Inner Circle program? Then you're making a big mistake. Trust me. There's a lot you need to learn about parenting, as there's a lot for you to learn about money. And that's the reason why we are here. Remember, we have an exclusive program called the Money Click program. It runs from January to December every year. And you have an opportunity to be a part of this program come next year. The time to join is now. Thank you very much, everyone, for joining. Hello, ma'am, Madam Bilkis Adamu. Thank you very much, ma. Glad to have you here. Thank you very much, everybody who has joined us here today. Thank you and thank you and thank you. So today we're going to be talking about something very profound, something very key, something very important. How to introduce your child to investing, even if you're still learning, even if you are still learning, right? Let us understand how we can approach this. Good afternoon, Mrs. Emily Sarah. Thank you very much. She's just to recover from my MIP earlier this morning. Thank you so much, ma. Thank you. Thank you. Welcome to every billionaire here in the house. Welcome. Welcome, Oriflame brand partner. Welcome to all billionaires in the house. And non-billionaires, you are also welcome. Welcome and welcome. Okay, so my name remains Chukwemeko Nyinezi, and I'm the founder of the Naira Academy. Nice to have you here today. So we'll continue in the series of teaching how to better raise better financially literate children, right? And today in that series, we're going to be looking at how to introduce your child to investing, even if you're still learning. Even if you're still learning. So many parents want their children to learn how to invest early. Yes, they have that zeal, right? But the problem is they feel unqualified because they themselves are still learning, right? So they feel like, me, we as the still learning, how do I want to teach my child? Because I'm still learning, I feel like, I'm a bit unqualified to teach. Just like I remember I was talking to someone a few days ago, and the person said, I feel like I am not well qualified to teach, what I do and all things like that. So there are a lot of people, a lot of parents who feel that way, about teaching their children because they feel they don't know it all. But here's the thing. Here's the good news. You don't need to be an expert to teach your child about investing. You don't need to. You don't need to. When you feel like you're not enough, you're unqualified, it's almost like you're looking for perfection. You don't need that to teach them. You don't need perfection, right? You only need to be willing to learn with them. You need to be willing to learn with them. Because children don't need complex investment strategies. What they need is simple, relatable lessons that build confidence and curiosity. So far, you're already on your own journey of learning. You can teach your child, right? Let's see how to go about this. First, you start with the big idea. The big idea. And the big idea about investing is that money can grow. Money can grow, right? See, you can explain investing in one sentence. And you can explain it as investing is when your money works for you, even when you are sleeping. That's the one and very simple sentence you can use to explain investing. Money working for you while you are sleeping. Right? And if you can, please just put it in the comments. Investing is when your money works for you, even when you are sleeping. Even when you're sleeping. That is what investing is. That is what investing is. That is what investing is. Right? So children understand this better than adults because they love the idea of things growing. Right? So when you try to explain to them that, investing is you growing your money. So the idea of growth is one thing children look up to. So when you say things that concern growth, they can relate to it. Right? They can relate to it. One way to explain this is by giving them relatable examples. For example, you tell them, or you tell a child that Mama Nkichi buys tomato, for example, at 5 a.m. for 10,000 naira, right? And then she sells them by afternoon for 15,000 naira. Her money grew. Her money grew from 10,000 to 15,000, right? So Mama Nkichi made 5,000 naira. That is her money growing. So the whole idea is explaining to them that investing is about money growing, right? It's about money increasing from one point to another, right? And there is a process. And that process is that there's money already that will be used to buy something. You sell for higher, you make profits. It's one of the easiest relatable ways that you can explain money growing to a child because it's what they can see every day. They buy things every day. That's practical investing in real life, right? That's practical investing in real life. Yes, thank you very much, Ma, for helping us put that in the comment. So that's practical investing in real life. Just a minute, please. I forgot to connect my device. Okay. Okay, so that's practical investing in real life, right? The second approach is to use everyday objects to teach the concepts, right? Because children learn visually, they want to see. They want to see. For example, you give your child 5 sweets, 5, and you tell the child, if you eat all 5 now, it finishes. But if you give me 2 sweets to hold for you for 1 week, I'll return 3 sweets to you. Now, immediately, what that is going to teach them is delayed gratification. It will teach them return on investments because you're telling the child, give me 2 of your sweets, and after 1 week, I'll give you 3 sweets. So the child is learning return on investments. The child is learning growth over time. The child is learning delayed gratification because the child is learning that, okay, if I can keep these 2 away, then I can get 3 in 2 weeks. So the child is learning to wait for something greater. The child is learning to sacrifice something now to gain something better, in the nearest future or on the long term, right? So try to keep it simple. You're not explaining investing to a child and you're talking about stock market. No, the stock market is too complex for a child. It's too complex. The only people you can even introduce stock market to are the teenagers. But anything below teens, then you shouldn't even introduce to them. Even the teenagers, there's a way we introduce stock market to them in a very relatable way. If not, you're going to get them lost. So keep it simple, right? Number 3 is to teach the difference between saving and investing. To teach the difference between savings and investing, right? You need to explain to a child that saving is keeping money safe. Investing is growing money. One of the biggest mistakes people make all the time when it comes to teaching money is that they focus only on savings. They focus only on savings. So it's about how much are you saving? They will tell you. And after saving, nobody bothers to know what they do with the savings. Most times they just squander the savings, and we don't know that whole process, that pattern we're building is a pattern that a lot of us built or grew up with that we're struggling with today. The pattern of saving and spending. Saving and spending. Some people will save, they're good savers, so they can save for 3 years and then they will take the whole money and blow it. That is not the essence of savings. The essence of your savings is to meet up with your financial goal. And your first financial goal that your savings should help you meet up with is investing. Saving is leverage for investing. Saving is how you keep your money safe, waiting for the opportunity to invest it. Waiting for the opportunity to invest it. Saving is like storing rice in a container. Investing is planting the rice in the ground. And we can explain these things to them in this manner, right? You tell the child, saving your money is like storing rice in the container. Investing is like planting the rice. So the one you store stays the same. The one you plant grows. So they understand that saving is safekeeping. Investing is growing money. And that's the reason why it's the same however you save money. Whether you put it in the bank, you keep it at home, the same thing applies. If you can keep it safe, it is safe. It doesn't grow. Saving does not grow money. So if you put your money in the bank from now till next 3 years, the problem is that inflation would eat it up more than you can imagine. It doesn't matter where you save it. The same principle works here. It's the principle of keeping safe. That's what savings achieves for you. So for you to overcome things like inflation on our currency, any currency, no matter where you are in the world, inflation affects it. For you to overcome inflation, you need to invest your money. You need to grow your money. Your money needs to be growing at a faster rate than the economy. Sorry, it needs to be growing at a faster rate than inflation is growing. It needs to grow at a faster rate, right? And that is the essence of investing, to grow your money. Now, number 4 is that when you want to teach, especially teens, what you do is, for you to teach a teenager investing, you need to start with what they understand. Start with what they already understand. So teenagers already understand buying and selling. They already understand profit and loss. They already understand risks, right? So you need to relate investing to the things that they know. For example, they love sneakers, right? So you tell them, people buy sneakers for 20K, resell for 28K, profit is 8K. You've passed the message. You have passed the message, right? You can use agriculture. They understand the concept of plants and growth and all those things, right? Growing flowers. They understand this thing. You can use the concept of agriculture to explain these things to a teenager. All right. Now, another thing that you can do is to use an investment jar. That's another way you can pass this message, right? And with investment jar, you are distributing the money into different proportions, right? You're using, for example, our 2030, our 50-30-20 rule, right? And that 50-30-20 rule, like I always say, is something that you can adopt in the way that it will suit you better. For example, instead of doing 50-30-20, you can do 40-30-20-10. The 10 is the giving. So when they get money, you have different jars. Jar for giving, jar for saving, jar for investing, jar for spending, right? They'll put 10% in giving, 30% in saving, 20% in investing, 40% in spending, depending on how you have decided to make that distribution. It's only how you decided to make that distribution. Why? The reason why you need to do this is because children learn more by doing, not by lectures. So if you're teaching your children money and what you're doing is to sit down every day and teach your children this is what you need to do with money, then you're not getting it right. You're not getting it right. Thank you very much, Ma, for sharing. You're not getting it right if that is all you're doing. So what you need to do is help them to do. Help them to. Children learn by doing, not by lectures. They are not at the stage where they learn lectures. So it's funny when we sit our children down and we lecture them on what to do with money. No. Don't lecture them on what to do with money. Let your own life speak, because they learn first by modeling. They learn first by looking at what we do. Yes, thank you very much for sharing, Ma. Hoping and glad to have you in 2026 Money Click. We know you're going to be there with us. Thank you very much, Ma. So back to the discussion, right? So show your children, allow them to practice, allow them to do, right? That is how we get it right. And another way, especially for teenagers, is to co-invest with them, right? When you co-invest with them, you're taking them through your own process, you're building connection, right? You're helping them build the confidence. Or you tell the child or the teen, oh yeah, come, let me use my platform. Come, let's buy shares together and track it monthly, right? Come, let's invest 5,000 in this small business together. Will you help me run it? Right? So you are teaching. You're teaching in the most practical way possible. In the most practical way possible. Come, let's start up this garden and we're going to sell the produce. Come, let's buy a piggy bank and start putting money in it and measure the results after 6 months or after 1 year. So let them see your own excitement and learning process. It normalizes financial growth. If they understand that this is what you're doing and you're doing it, it will look normal to them. Remember, these children are at the level now where all they learn is what they see you do, right? What they see you do is more important than what you tell them that you're doing. So they want to see you. And when they see you, it becomes normal. If a child has parents who would routinely invest their money, investing will come naturally to them. The same way, if you are somebody that investing comes naturally to, then you will realize that if you look back to your past, you had parents who invested. Now, if you did not have parents that invested, then that's when investing will seem very alien to you. Investing will seem alien to you, because it is not something you're used to. It's because it's not something your brain is actually used to. You're not wired to do that way. It is not part of your blueprints, right? Just at my intentional parenting journey this morning with Coach Wendy, I was talking about blueprints, right? Money blueprints are sacrosanct. It's important for us to understand our money blueprint. You need to understand where you're coming from in your money story for you to understand where you'll be heading to and how you will get to where you're going to. Your money story is very, very important. And you need to understand that your money story today is shaping the money story of your children. So, however it is you think you're handling money today, indirectly, you are training your children to handle money the same way. And that's why it's very, very important for you to invest in yourself, for you to learn. It's very, very important for you to get on the journey of becoming a better you with money. It's further for you to change your money story today. You need to change your money story. Because as you're changing your money story, you are indirectly changing the money story of your children. You're indirectly doing that, right? And as you practice all these things, you are also making it normal for them. If you invest, investing is going to be normal for them if they see it. If you don't, it will be as alien as anything. Another thing is to use stories of African entrepreneurs. Tell them stories. Children love stories a lot. I remember when I was young, I used to disturb my dad almost every night to tell me a folk tale. That's how much children love stories. I always wanted to hear a folk tale every night. Every night. Right? The funny thing was that my dad only knew one folk tale. So every night he would tell you the same story. It was my mom who has array of stories. My mom has array of stories. So at some point, I kept disturbing my dad to tell me folk tales. He now went and bought me one book that had a collection of Igbo folk tales. The book is in Igbo, right? So I had that book, or more. I read that book like how many times? So when I got the book, I stopped disturbing him. So what I do was at night, I'll read the book to myself because I was old enough to read at that time. I'll read the book to myself and I'll go to bed, So stories, children love stories a lot, right? And we can use stories to teach them, right? Tell them stories. The story of Aliko Dangote. Tell them how Dangote started, or how he started, how he moved, how his growth went. Understand, read the story, read the biography of these people so you can tell their story. Tell them the story of Mo Abudu. Tell them the story of Koscharis Motors. So because stories makes investing feel possible. When you tell stories, they will know that, okay, yes, I see these people on TV, or, oh, I've heard about these people in school. People talk about these people. They know it is reality, that investing is reality. And you need to paint that story to them. And most importantly, tell them the story of yourself. If you're somebody who has won with investing, tell them your own story as well. They need to learn your own story. They need to hear your own story. It's even more important than the stories of all these other people or notable people that I've mentioned. Right? Okay. Then another approach is to let them make small investment decisions. Let them choose. Allow them. Give them opportunity. Right? Give them opportunity to decide how much to save. Give them opportunity to decide if there are things, okay, which mutual fund that they can start looking at. Right? Give them opportunity to explore what business ideas they think they can do. Right? We need to understand that guided freedom builds confidence. So we need to guide them. Right? We need to give them a little bit of freedom, but at the same time, it has to be guided. Right? And even if they make mistakes, that's the lesson. That's the whole approach. The whole approach is for them to make mistakes and for them to learn from their mistakes. Right? Okay. The next is to teach the most important rule. And the most important rule about investing is to start small and start early. And that's one rule that even a lot of adults do not understand when it comes to investing. So a lot of times when you tell people, oh, invest, they'll tell you, I'm waiting to when I have the money. Oh, I don't have the money now. You're waiting for when you feel the money will be enough, right? And that's the problem. You're going against the most important rule of investing. You need to start small and you need to start early, right? Somebody who starts small and starts early to invest, let's say in their early 20s, eventually would have more money than somebody who starts in their 40s and invests more money. Time is one thing that makes compound interest show its magic part of it. Time. So investing works best with small amounts that is consistent and timely. So investing is not about putting plenty money. Oh, that will say invest in the stock market. No, I'm not saying put plenty money. What I'm saying is put small money consistently over a long period of time. And because we are raising children, they need to understand this concept. They don't need to grow with the same mindset that a lot of us grew with, thinking investing requires a lot of money. No. They need to understand that what investing requires is for them to start small and start early. So teach them to start investing with whatever it is that comes to their hands today. Teach them, right? Teach them that they can start investing now. Allow them to practicalize it little by little, consistent with it, right? Let them also learn how to. There are a lot of lessons that children will learn just by engaging in things like this. And I did bring a copy of Investing Basics. Investing Basics for Teens is one book that every teenager should read, because it will get to explain these things for them in details, in the language that they understand, with relatable stories. Right? So we need to take this simple rule very seriously. Right? And we need to explain the concept of the whole essence of starting small and starting early is to leverage on the power of compound interest. Is to leverage on the on the power of compounding. And what is compound interest? In a simple way that teenagers and children can understand. Teenagers can understand. Your money grows faster the longer it stays planted. That's what compound interest is. I say again, to explain compound interest is simply to say that your money grows faster the longer it stays planted. So compound interest requires that you start early. So if you start in your teens, in your early 20s, that money will grow faster than somebody who starts with more, 10 times more in their 30s, 10 times more in their 40s, 100 times more in their 40s. Right? So you need time and you need to start early. They need to understand the essence of starting early. All right. Okay. Then lastly, as a roundup, we need to normalize talking about money at home. Investing becomes natural when children hear the statements that talk about money. When the children hear about money often. When children hear things like, oh, let's save for the future. When children hear things like, let's research before we spend. When children hear things like, oh, let's invest instead of upgrading our gadgets at home. It becomes natural when they hear things like, let's check the value before spending. You need to normalize having money conversations at home. Just this morning, when Coach Kunle, for some of us who are in the inner circle, was talking about having family meetings. Family meetings can be a perfect time to talk about these things. But apart from that time, let it be a normal thing. Let it be, when you're just doing things at home, we can just talk about, this investing thing. Do you know how powerful it is that when you invest early, how your money can grow? You need to talk about it. You need to make it seem natural to them. Right? It has to stay natural to them. When it comes natural to them, they are not going to struggle with it when they become adults. The reason is that the problem is that we struggle with a lot of things as adults because it did not become a part of us. Right? It's not part of our habits. We run on habits. Almost everything we do every day, 60% of the things we do every day are habits. Right? And the reason why we struggle with the things that I'm talking about today is that they are new habits. Right? And it's difficult. Very, very difficult to break old habits, right? So in order for us to give our children an advantage, let us help them to build the habits down so they don't go through the process of creating new habits or trying to break old ones later on in life, right? Let's give them that advantage. And that's also the reason why your children should be in the Money Click Kids program, right? The Money Click Kids program is key. It's a program where children get to learn about money all year round. From January to December, they are learning about money. From January to December. So your children should be in the Money Click Kids program. Also, coming up, we are launching the Money Click program for young adults, right? Young adults, children between ages of 18 to 25. Why? Because in the Money Click program or in the Naira Academy, we want to teach people in their specific age groups. In the last 1 year, we've realized that before we used to group this age category in the normal Money Click program, that's the adults, but we realized that they don't follow. Most of them are in the university, so most times we're not using terms, we're not using examples that are relatable to them. So we're going to group them separately this time, and we're going to teach them in the language that they understand, right? So it's very important that you get them to enroll, get them to join so that they start the process, so they start learning. There's no time. The truth is, research has it that at age 7, money habits of a child are already formed. So if money habits of a child is already formed by age 7, and your child is 12, and you're waiting till when they become 20 for them to come and start learning about money, then you know already that it's going to be too late by then. It's going to be too late by then, right? So one message I want you to take out of this life today is that you do not have to be a financial guru to raise financially literate children. You don't have to. The only thing you need is for you to stay curious. The only thing you need is for you to learn openly so they can see you're learning, right? Teach them in a very simple way and then practice consistency. You need to show them how to be consistent. Consistency is very important, right? It's very important in investing. Consistency is an important ingredient. It's a must in investing, right? Because the greatest gifts that you can give your child is not money. It is the mindset and the skill to multiply money. So thank you very much, everyone who have joined us. This is where we're going to end it for today. The Money Click Kids program is also kicking off in January. You have an opportunity to register your children now in the Money Click Kids program. Come January, the rates are going to go up. So please register them now before that time. Don't do late entry. Okay, you can also register yourself, get yourself in, and also start learning. If you know that your money story does not support the kind of goals that you want for your financial life, then you need to get yourself in a curriculum where you start learning better how to handle money, right? You need to get yourself in a space where you begin to learn how to change your mindset about money, how to rewire your blueprints about money. It's very important for you, and it's very important for you also, for your children, if you are a parent, right? So the details of how to join both the Money Click and the Money Click Kids program is showing on your screen. So you can just reach out to the number displayed on your screen and we'll send you all the details that you need. So thank you very much, everyone that have joined us. Thank you very much, Madam Bilkis Adamu. Thank you so much for being here, ma. Glad to have you. And thank you to every other person who have joined us today. I see, yes, we also shared this particular one on the Naira Academy on Facebook, and I see quite a lot of people have been there. Thank you so much, everyone. All the people that are here on YouTube, thank you so much for being here. Thank you, Mrs. Emily Sarah. Glad to have you here as always. So this is where we draw the curtain today, and I'm going to see you again next week. Remember, on Wednesdays, 12 noon, we have our live sessions on Facebook and Instagram. On Thursdays, 12 noon, we have our live sessions here on YouTube. Different topics on these 2 different days. We don't teach the same thing we teach on Wednesday or Thursday. They are all different things, right? So you need to be in the 2. And also, if you want to get the Indabuski of the sessions, according to Goshwendi, the Indabuski of the sessions happens right in the Money Click program, right? That is where we break down everything, okay? So try and get yourself into the Money Click program. The details are showing on your screen. So thank you very much, everybody, for joining. My name is Chukwuemeka Onyenezi. I'm your world-class financial planner. I'm the founder of the Naira Academy. Bye-bye.
Did anyone teach you how to handle money while growing up? I guess not. Most adults learn the hard way through debt and financial stress. But here's the thing, your child does not have to repeat that same cycle. the Naira Academy has created the Money Click Kids program, where your child can learn how to save, budget, spend wisely, and understand the basics of investing. So what are you waiting for? Enroll your child in the 2026 Money Click Kids program and give your child the head start you didn't have.